warrants for Polk County.
Y las 4 órdenes de captura son del condado de Polk.
So I'm going to find probable cause.
Declaro que ha habido causa probable.
Keep bond at 0 and you'll be transferred over to Polk.
Okay, la fianza es 0 y será trasladado al condado de Polk.
Your Honor, are you doing 0 for all charges? Because I see 0 for 2 counts and 5,000 for the other 2.
I'll do 5,000 for the other 2. It's fine.
Los otros dos son 5,000.
But realistically, he can't bond out. He'll have to go to Polk.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did you say something, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
He'll be taken to Polk County.
Okay. Que lo van a trasladar a la Polk County.
Are there any other Spanish interpreter cases besides the John Doe?
John Doe should be the last one, Your Honor.
Are we able to confirm his identity?
Yes, Your Honor, we were able to confirm his identity through fingerprint. And as I stated previously, it is Roberto Pullman Vasquez with the date of birth of 7/18/1968.
7/18/1958?
68.
60. Okay, go ahead and bring up Roberto Vasquez Cuman. Sir, are you Roberto Vasquez Cuman?
Señor, ¿usted es Roberto Vázquez Cumen?
No, Alberto Zambrano Márquez.
No, Alberto Zambrano Vázquez.
All right, well,
Márquez.
I'm not going to say any.
Marquez, I'm sorry, Marquez.
Márquez. Alberto Zambrano Márquez. Alberto Zambrano Márquez. Alberto
All right,
Zambrano Márquez.
We're going to go ahead and reset him to come back to tomorrow because until I can confirm his identity, I'm not going to set a bond. So we'll just recall him tomorrow once there's an opportunity to get investigated.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Postergado para mañana hasta que se pueda confirmar bien su identidad.
All right, next up is going to be, I think we're done with the interpreter cases. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to let the interpreter go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up is going to be Keenan Lawson.
25mm472, PD approved.
Are you Keenan Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your date of birth 8/19/91?
Yes.
All right, you are charged with petty theft and 2 out-of-county warrants out of Brevard. I'm going to set the bond at $1,000 for the petty theft, find probable cause, appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and then 0 bond for the out-of-county warrants.
And I just paid the $1,000 directly to the jail.
Well, you're in on one that I'm going to give you a $1,000 bond for your petty thefts, but you're also in on 2 out-of-counties.
Get like moved to the county, and I have the $1,000 in my property. So can I just I came to jail with the cash, and I just paid the $1,000 so I could get extradited.
Ask your.
Your Honor, I'll speak to him.
Okay.
Your Honor, also, will you be taking any action on the other case he's out on?
Yes, he's out on bail. I'm going to go ahead and revoke the bail for 2025 CF 198. It's fleeing or attempting to elude and a duelist, 2 prior convictions. Next court date is?
On demand.
On demand. All right, next up is Joshua McGriffin. Are you Joshua McGriffin?
Yes.
And is your date of birth 2/19/94?
Yes.
And appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're here today for an out-of-county warrant out of Pasco County. I'm going to find probable cause, keep the bond at 0. Next court date?
It's a
On demand.
That's it, sir.
I'm always going to say next court date after every case and just say it's on demand. Sorry. No worries. All right, next up is Kristen Watek. Are you Kristen Watek?
Yes.
And is your date of birth 8/11/85?
Yes.
Your Honor, my apologies. The person that we just called, was that a Mr. Joshua McGiffin? Was that?
That was Joshua McGriffin.
McGriffin. Okay. It was just a typo on mine. Thank you, Your Honor.
Not a problem. And you are Mr. Kristen Watek, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're here today on an out-of-county warrant out of Volusia. I'm going to find probable cause, set the bond at $1,500. Next court date?
on demand.
On demand. All right, next up is going to be Chevroy Bishop. Ayesha Roy Bishop.
Yes. 25 CF, PD approved.
And is your date of birth 7/29/2002?
Yes.
All right, you're being charged with false imprisonment, grand theft, less than 5,000, and battery. I'll appoint public defender's office to represent you. Do you have any alleged victims in regards to that case here today? All right, seeing none. Anything in regards to bond state?
Just the normal scheduling, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to set bond amount, count 1, 5,000, count 2, 2,500, count 3, 2,500. No contact with victims. No return to the location. Maintain separate residence.
Your Honor, would you allow one-time return?
Yes, I'll allow one-time return. However, he's also out on bail for 25 MM 1332. I'm going to revoke the bail, revoke the bond.
Okay.
And I just wanted to put on record, Your Honor, that's an Orange County case.
Yes, that is an Orange County case. Next court date?
On demand.
On demand. All right, next up we have is Kimani and Wright.
25 CF 556, PD approved.
All right, are you Kimani and Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is your date of birth November 27th, 2000?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with shooting into a dwelling, discharge a gun from a vehicle, and aggravated assault with intent to commit felony. I'm going to go ahead and find probable cause. What says the state?
As per higher than normal bond scheduling, I see prior history of the same charges.
What says the defense?
Could the state please repeat themselves? I could not hear, Your Honor.
He wants a higher bond because of the history.
The defense would object to a higher bond, but would not be opposed to what Your Honor deems reasonable.
All right, the court's going to set all 3 counts at 5,000. Count 1, 2, and 3, all at 5,000. No contact with the victim, no contact with co-defendants, no return to the scene, no weapons or firearms, and surrender all firearms within 24 hours.
Just for clarity too, Your Honor, is it 5,000 per count for a total of 15?
Yes. And then all those conditions. Next court date?
On demand.
On demand. Next up is going to be Ramon Frias.
25 CF 552, PD approved.
Do we have Ramon Frias?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And is your date of birth 10/2/97?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you've got 2 separate cases here. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with, the first is installing a tracking device on a person's property. And then also you're being charged with arson, burglary of a conveyance, attempted arson, and burglary of a conveyance.
Your Honor, I don't have attempted arson here.
I've got arson as count 1 and attempted arson as count 3.
Oh, I see it. My apologies.
What says the state?
I do apologize. This is actually one that's expected to be a pretrial detention motion.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna set a bond. I'll just allow the state to go ahead and file your pretrial detention. When is that hearing set for? It is Ramon Frias.
The 497. It's gonna be on March 4th,
March 4th,
8:15 a.m.
8:15 a.m.
5
Courtroom 5F in front of Judge Tanya Davis Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense would just be asking that the state's motion be filed within 3 days.
Yes, I will order that.
Your Honor, is that in both cases or just one case?
Specifically, just for record clarity, we're moving under 907.041 sub 5 for the arson charges, not for the installing or use of tracking devices. So the state has no objection to Your Honor setting a bond for the installing a tracking device charge, nor for the burglary charges.
For the installing of the tracking device, I'll set it at $2,500. No contact with victim or witnesses. No return to the victim's residence. Do not possess any Apple AirTags or any other tracking devices. But I'm not going to set any bond in regards to the other case. That'll be up to Judge Tanya Davis Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, for the case with the arson charges.
Yes.
The victim's names on the booking report, it has Morales ending in Morelles. And it has Morales ending in Morales. So I wanted to confirm the correct last name of the victim.
We have the correct last name. How to spell Morales?
Double check. And the reason I was standing to in the interim is just to make sure that Your Honor found probable cause for
Yes.
this. Okay.
I'm finding probable cause for both cases.
Give a moment, I can double check to see if I have further information on the victim's spelling. I have it as Jose Castillo, Castillo.
For the
Arson.
I don't have the exact spelling in that case because it's not fully in the system yet.
Whatever.
All right. Next up is going to be Tariq Merritt.
Oh,
22 CF 1271 PD approved.
All right, are you Tariq Merritt?
Yes, ma'am.
And is your date of birth 9/8/2002?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You've been charged with VOP. I'm going to find probable cause, keep the bond at 0. Next court date?
March 6th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B. If out on bond, March 18th, 8:45 a.m. courtroom 5F.
Next up is Kalham Nadal.
25 CF 564 PD approved.
Are you Kahim Nadal?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your birthday 9/10/2002?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Going to find probable cause. Bond will be set. Is there any victims, alleged victims here on this case? Nope. All right, I'm going to set bond at $5,000. No contact with victim or witnesses. No return to the scene. One-time return with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. Maintain a separate residence. No weapons or firearms. Surrender all firearms within 24 hours. Next court date?
On demand.
On demand. Next up is Omar Ole Lopez. If you're on that case, please come forward. Say again? You're done.
Your Honor, there's an issue earlier. He refused to turn off his phone, so I seized it. I had to let him know when he's done.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was putting it on silent and I just filmed everything to say.
Are you waiting for a case to be called?
No, he just finished.
Oh, he finished the case. Okay, you can take your phone and go then. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, do we have Omar Ole Lopez?
Osceola Lopez.
Thank you.
No application.
Did you apply for the public defender's office, sir?
I was at court earlier.
You did or you, so you didn't have a chance to?
the defense would be requesting a provisional appointment. Mr. Oyola was in court earlier today and he wasn't able to fill out the AOI.
Okay, I'll go ahead and provisionally appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is your date of birth 5/1985?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll provisionally appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause. You're charged with VOP. So I'm going to keep the bond at 0. All right, next up is going to be Philip Robinson. Philip Robinson.
14 MM 1569 PD approved.
Are you Philip Robinson, sir?
Yes.
Is your date of birth 8/17/71?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with the VOP. I do find probable cause. I'm going to keep the bond at 0. Next court date.
March 6th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B, if out on bond. March 18th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B.
Next up is Zachary Vanell. Zachary Vanell.
24 CF 3694, PD approved.
Are you Zachary Vanell, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your date of birth 4/10/2001?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You are being charged with fleeing, attempting to elude law enforcement with lights and sirens activated, leaving the scene of an accident with property damage, another count of leaving the scene of an accident with property damage, and driving with license suspended or revoked. I am going to find probable cause, set bond at $4,000 for count 1, $1,500 count 2, $1,500 count 3, and $1,000 count 4, for a total of $8,000. Also, no contact with the victim, and do not drive without a valid driver's license. Next court date is?
On demand.
On demand. All right, next up is Kevin Bell.
Your Honor, my apologies. We'd be requesting that Mr. Bell go at the very end. He has to be in the cage.
Okay, we'll come back to him then. All right, do we
Yes.
have Curtis D'Amico?
25 CF 591, PD approved.
Are you Curtis D'Amico?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is your date of birth 1/31/75?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with resisting arrest without violence, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of controlled substance, which is methamphetamine, possession of controlled substance, alprazolam, and possession of controlled substance, morphine. I'm going to go ahead and find probable cause, set bond, 1,000 count 1, 500 count 2, 2,500 count 3, 2,500 count 4, and 2,500 count 5, for a grand total of $9,000 bond. Next court date?
On demand.
On demand. All right, thank you. Next up is going to be Solomon Gonzalez.
25 CF 593, PD approved.
Are you Solomon Gonzalez? Are you Solomon Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you. And is your date of birth 7/20/92?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with disorderly intoxication in public, battery on specified personnel, threat to law enforcement, resisting arrest without violence, battery on specified personnel, and threat to law enforcement. Once again, I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. Find probable cause. What says the state?
Normal scheduling, Your Honor.
All right. All right, bond's going to be set at $150 for count 1, $1,000 for count 2, $1,000 for count 3, $1,000 for count 4, $1,000 for count 5, and $1,000 for count 6. Total of $5,150. Next court date?
On demand.
I apologize. Given the nature of the charge, if I could request no weapons or firearms.
Yes, no weapons or firearms. Next court date?
On demand.
Thank you. All right, next up is John Michael. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael John.
I can ask. Your Honor, Mr. Bell is here in the chapel now. Would it be possible to call him next?
Sure.
Thank you.
Let's call Mr. Kevin Bell next. Are you Kevin Bell, sir?
Yes, madam.
All right, and is your date of birth 5/1/76?
75.
I have 5/1/76. You're saying it's 75?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have, what the clerk's office have? And what does the state have?
I have set this paper, but it could be 75. Typos happen. I can check CCIS right now, though.
Thank you. State's verifying that.
We also have 76, Your Honor.
You also 76.
I have 76 from prior cases, but
CCIS is 76.
yeah, I can open up the most recent one.
Just get it over with.
Oh, when I search 75, I don't have any results. I can check the most recent case to see if there's a recent one. Most recent one I have is out of 2013, Palm Beach County.
I'll say 76.
I'm just going to verify one of the citations, if I could. I have 76 in a prior case from 2013.
Are they all say 76? What says public defense?
My apologies, Your Honor.
What says your office? All the previous cases say 76.
I have here 76. However, client is telling me that it's actually 75 and that it was a typo.
There's no big deal, Judge. Let's just go over it.
I'm sorry, say again?
I said it's no big deal. Can we just get it over with, please?
All right, we'll keep it as 76 for the time being, but I'm going to ask the defense to bring this up later, well, obviously whenever it gets closer to the court, so that that can be correct, and also state look into that as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with, sir, Dwillis, which is driving a license suspended or revoked as a habitual offender. Got to find probable cause. Go ahead.
To interrupt the court, but I'm curious if you have more paperwork than I have, because the paperwork I have doesn't support probable cause, because I just have the initial sheet that says, you know, proving as follows. You have more than me. Okay.
I have that.
I didn't receive
do you
that.
not
I was
have
making
that?
sure the court had it.
Can we give the state a copy just to make sure he has it? Did the defense receive it? The charging
Yes,
affidavit?
the defense received the charging affidavit, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, can we just get a copy for the state?
I had emailed the officer to make sure that it was with the court, but if the court has it, that's fine.
All right, the court's going to find probable cause. Charge is, once again, driving with license suspended or revoked as a habitual offender, set bond at $2,500. Next court date is?
On demand.
On demand. All right, next up is going to be Michael John.
25 CF 587, PD approved.
Your Honor, Mr. Michael John is not in the chapel. Would it be possible to reset to tomorrow?
Yes, we'll go ahead and reset him till tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, next up is going to be Samantha Johnston.
25 MM 471, PD approved.
Are you Samantha Johnston?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is your date of birth 1/21/93?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with petty theft. I'm going to find probable cause, set bond at $500. Next court date is?
On demand.
Your Honor, I would ask, does Ms. Johnson qualify for pretrial release?
No.
I have, no, unable to verify community ties, does not qualify.
I'd just like to put on the record and for Your Honor's consideration, in the affidavit, it talks about, a financial situation, and we'd be asking that the bond be lowered.
I'm not going to lower the bond, I'm going to keep it at 500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, next court date?
On demand.
On demand. Next up is Christopher Lumpkins.
25 CF 594, no application.
What happened? Your Honor, there's some mental health concerns. Is it possible?
Do you want to reset it for tomorrow?
Your Honor.
You have what?
He better staff yesterday, so.
Your Honor, if you provisionally appoint the defense, we'll be able to waive the hearing. There are some mental health concerns, and
Okay, then we'll move forward the hearing then if defense is willing to waive their appearance. So Christopher Lumpkins, I'll appoint public defender's office. He is charged with battery on a specified personnel, which is a corrections officer. What says defense?
Your Honor, I just like to.
Just for the record, you are waiving his appearance. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What's your argument?
Your Honor, the defense doesn't have a probable cause argument, or an argument as to probable cause. However, I just like to put on the record that we are most likely going to file a notice of reasonable grounds because due to the facts that were stated in the affidavit, it seems as if he is not in the right state of mind to understand really what's going on.
What says the state?
Speaking only to bond, state would ask for higher than scheduling because he's already in custody for Bat 1 prior when this happened.
I'll set bond at 2,500. Any other conditions requested, state?
No, Your Honor.
Next court date?
On demand.
All right, next up, we're going to have is Paula Potter.
25 474, PD approved.
Are you Paula Potter?
Yes, ma'am.
And is your date of birth 9/28/78?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with battery. I'm going to find probable cause, set bond at $1,000, no contact with victim, no return to the home. Or residence, sorry. Next court date?
On demand.
Your
Any
Honor,
other request, state?
Just two, I always ask for no weapons, firearms, and then I have no objection to a one-time return with law enforcement.
Yes, no weapons or firearms and can return one time with law enforcement to get personal possessions.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right, next up is going to be Imani Smith. Imani Smith?
25 470, PD approved.
All right, are you Imani Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your date of birth December 11th, 1992?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with battery. Going to find probable cause, set bond at $1,000, no contact with victim. Anything else the state is requesting?
No return, given that the affidavit references they're living together. No objection to one-time return with law enforcement.
No return to the scene, and we're going to need to return with law enforcement, time to get personal property.
The victim left my house, ma'am. She left to go to a hotel.
I gotta make sure I have the names right. I apologize. The victim was staying with the defendant, so the state would not ask for no return. given
Okay, I'll strike
the
that then.
affidavit says it's the defendant's house.
I'll strike that then. All right, next court date?
On demand.
On demand. All right, next up is Alex Vargas.
25 CF 592, PD approved.
Are you Alex Vargas?
Yes, ma'am.
And is your date of birth 4/17/2000?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're being charged with Juveniles as a habitual offender. I'm going to find probable cause, set your bail at $2,500. Next court date is?
On demand.
Any other cases? I have only that we're resetting John Michael for tomorrow and the John Doe for tomorrow.
No,
Watek?
she did
She
everything.
did? Okay. Other than that, Your Honor, we don't have any other cases.
Any other cases, State?
I'm sure I missed them, but Keenan Lawson. Actually, just the one case. Keenan Lawson.
It's done. This guy was resent.
Okay, that's what it was, is that we handled those two other cases and I have the leftover Osceola case. My apologies, that's been handled.
Okay, perfect. Then we're good to go. All right, we'll see everyone tomorrow then. Thank you. Thank you, going off the record.
By Judge Crestis. She found probable cause for the petty theft, 2 or more priors. She set your bond at $2,500. I'm not going to change that. I'm going to keep in place her bond conditions as well of no contact and staying away from the scene. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. All right, sir, so I appointed you an attorney and set a bond for you.
All right.
That's all I can do today. Thank you. Good luck. Angel Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I have you here on a warrant for conspiracy to traffic in cocaine, multiple trafficking in cocaines, sale and delivery of a controlled substance, possession of cocaine, possession of and trafficking controlled substance, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device.
And Your Honor, Ms. George and I have been in contact before court on this case, and we cannot find the warrant or the warrant affidavit, nor a case number. Madam Clerk, do you have a case
I have.
number?
Here, you want to approach?
Yes, please.
I know they have the warrant, but don't have the affidavit. Let me see. 24/7.
You're welcome. I'll give y'all a couple seconds to find that.
Yeah, let me see if I already have it.
Maybe say something about me.
I'll get it for you, but yeah, I don't have it. And Your Honor, I don't have the warrant affidavit at this time. I will reach out to, this is Orange County. Try to obtain it from them. We just ask that you set a bond. In the meantime, and when I obtain that warrant affidavit, I'll provide it to defense.
Yep, no objection, Your Honor.
So the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 7 have no bonds for right now.
Me 8.
And 8, well, no, 8 has one, 2,500.
500.
Yes, 6 and 8 are, leave the same at 2,500.
I don't know who did this, but they did it well. Okay, 9. 10. 8 is 2,500.
I don't know why. We can't see it. I don't know what's that.
And Your Honor, as to 1, 2, 3, and 4, the trafficking and the conspiracy to traffic, the bond schedule has those at 50,000, 50. We'd ask for that on 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then subsidiaries on the additional 4 counts.
Okay. So on 5, 6, 7, and 8, I'm gonna set it at 1,000 apiece. On 1, 2, 3, and 4, 50,000 apiece on those. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I have a lawyer, sir.
You have a lawyer? Okay. Then I won't appoint the public defender. Who's your attorney?
Mr. Vargas,
Okay.
Vela, I'm sorry, my wife told me her name, and I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
So just get in touch with that person, your lawyer, let them know, that you got your bond set, and, they'll be in touch with you and take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
And bond, stay in the, whatever conditions were on the bond, stay, or on the warrant. Under order, no contact with any victims or witnesses or co-defendants.
They say no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no firearms.
And no weapons or firearms, and no drugs. So, all right, good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, Richard Sawyer.
Sir.
All right, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
PD does not qualify, so I can't appoint y'all. Oh, no, wrong person, he doesn't qualify, so he does qualify for Mr. Sawyer.
Oh.
So I'm gonna appoint y'all for Mr. Sawyer. Sorry, I get my paperwork a little mixed up there. All right, I did review your arrest affidavit and I'm finding probable cause on this. Count one, and set your bond at 1,000. Count two, set your bond at 2,500. Count three, 1,000. Count four, is that felony state on four?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, count four, set your bond at 2,500. Order no possession of any weapons or firearms. No drugs without prescription. All right, sir, set a bond for you and appointed you an attorney. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Matthew Smith.
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon. Are you here for initial appearance on charge of possession of tetrahydrocannabis, possession of cannabis intent to sell, and possession of firearm commission of felony? I can't appoint the public defender to represent you. You don't qualify. But I did review your arrest affidavit in this case, and I did find probable cause for the arrest. I'm going to set your bond on 1 and 2 at 2,500 and count 3 at 5,000.
Okay.
All right, so.
He does qualify for.
Does qualify for PTR? Thank you. State any objection then?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so sir, disregard what I just said about the bond amounts. Instead, I'm going to order you be released on pretrial release. You will get those terms and instructions for pretrial release. I tell everybody, make sure you follow those. Failure to follow those and comply with those will land you right back on here and probably not getting out for a while. All right, instead of having to post a bond. All right, and you still don't qualify for the PD, so you have to go hire your own attorney or see about doing that. All right, good luck, sir.
Any condition, Judge?
No possession of firearms, all the same other conditions that I had. No weapons, firearms, no drugs without prescription. Thank you for chiming in. I got my role of nobody qualifying, so. All right. Zan Husnell?
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Have you here for initial appearance charged with grand theft and battery pursuant to a warrant signed by Judge Sandor. So he found probable cause for your arrest. I'm not going to make any changes that.
Your Honor, and we would ask for a pretrial release. In this case, I did ask, and she would qualify.
All right, so that must have been changed since I.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So ma'am, instead of having to post a bond, I'm going to order you to be released. You probably heard my spiel for the gentleman right before you. Pre-trial release, you'll get those terms and conditions before you get out. Make sure you follow those and abide by those, because if you don't, you'll end up right back on in here and probably not getting out for a while. All right, so I'm going to order no contact with any victim or witnesses in this matter, no return to the scene. No weapons or firearms, and any other conditions that Judge Sandor put in there that I just missed. So, and then I'll appoint the public defender to represent her. All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ooh. Carleaf Trosh.
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Have you here on possession of cocaine charge, initial appearance? Reviewed the arrest affidavit, found probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Set your bond to 2,500 on the new charge. State, you want to be heard on the out on bond case?
Yes, Your Honor, that out-of-bond case is filed. It's possession of a controlled substance and paraphernalia. Given that it is filed, it is from 4 months ago when he allegedly picked it up. The state's requesting that you revoke and set it none, given that it's a drug-related offense and he's here on a new drug offense.
Defense, do you want to be heard?
We would just argue, that, again, Your Honor, it's a nonviolent offense. He's currently employed full-time. He's been there for 4 months now. So if he's held here, he's gonna lose his employment. Outside of that, he is the current caregiver for his family, so I just ask that you consider that and consider the fact that they're both nonviolent. Revoke and double as opposed to holding him at no bond.
All right. I'm going to revoke and hold it at no bond. He just got out 12/21, so 2 months ago for drug offenses, and then we got possession of cocaine on this one. So, sort of revoke and hold you at no bond on the old case. You can get in and see the judge that has that case and see if they want to change my order. He or she may do that. I have no idea. PD, are you appointed on the out of bond case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so your attorney can talk to you more about that and deal with that, so.
And state does have motion to transfer on the 2456 case to Division 15. May I approach?
Granted, yes. All right, and then I have Devin Vaughn. All right, good afternoon, sir. Have you here for initial appearance, charged with third-degree grand theft of motor vehicle. I did review the arrest affidavit in this case. I remember this quite well. Some of them stand out as you read through multiples, you know, as they will tell you.
So when you can remember, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
So I find probable cause for your arrest. Arrest that you bought at 2,500, and or appoint the public defender to represent you. All right, good luck, sir.
The 33-day motion?
Yes.
As to 25 CF 1227, Mr. Lopez, state would ask that you deny it is filed.
All right, very good. All right, we're in recess off the record.